unable to connect to your call at this time.
All circuits are busy.
Let's check
Please hang up and try your number again.
All right, it says we have an excellent connection.
Well, one person doesn't.
Stream is set to ultra low latency.
I find that a little scary when you do that because I see things that actually happen before they happen.
Yeah.
It's sort of weird.
That's
Sweet fuck all, Josh.
No.
I'm trying to think of a term, a time travel.
Relativity.
Continuity.
Don't cross the streams. Star Trek.
I've been to the whole Steins Gate thing lately, so
Sorry, what?
there's a 2008 or 9 Xbox 360 visual novel, which was ported to
Oh.
PC 2009. Eventually came out on PS3. Then they made an anime out of it.
Please, baby, please.
There we go.
Oh,
There we
good
go.
God, there he is.
He
That's
saved
on.
us. He saved us from Taku Talk.
Talkie talk.
Taku Talk.
Unplugged it,
Taco Talk.
plugged it back in,
Welcome.
Welcome.
restarted Firefox.
But you never went away. You stayed there.
Sorta. Me and my pasty white skin.
There's filters for that. You can sort of warm yourself. Oh, I should be looking for our live stream. I was distracted by Josh's pasty white skin.
Yes.
When Josh came on and said welcome, it reminded me of my Kasparov chess computer I had as a kid. It was a talking Kasparov chess computer. Every time you hit the power button, it said, welcome, white to move. Well, you could
Just
press
like
a
Gary
button
himself.
and play as black, but yeah, it always defaulted to white. Psycho Myco 82 says, I love paste.
Stop.
Paste.
Stop eating the paste. Please.
Why?
Please stop. I don't really have a good reason.
Uncle Lala says, hello,
Models
fellow
are wondering why I
nerds.
never bought any models, but I was always picking up more glue.
I'm proud of being a nerd. I wouldn't want
He's
it
right
any
about the
other way.
nerds.
I don't do the whole geek thing. I'm straight up a nerd. Everything I'm into it a very nerdy way. And it's all
Okay,
nerdy stuff.
live mode. Yes, and feed links.
Feed links.
Feed links. There's that paste again. I keep stepping on a cable I have taped to my floor. I'm going to stop talking about it now. All right. Oh, that actually. That's right, organic paste.
Oh, we are.
Says
organic
Bronco
paste.
Monk. Which is a nice name. What do we got going on over here?
There, I tweeted out that we're actually on time this week.
And we're not.
I'm sure that will get us tens of additional viewers.
Tens.
10.
10 additional viewers. Okay,
Okay.
whenever everyone's ready.
Okay.
And by that, I
Okay.
mean you have 3 seconds to shut the up. So I can start recording. Hold on, hit the record button.
Oh, yeah. Don't forget the record button.
I never do, except for once.
Except that one time.
Except that
We
one
didn't
time.
record it, so no one ever knows.
It's
No,
right next to
it
the
was on-
self-destruct button.
it was on YouTube.
Don't make a mistake.
You know, it didn't look that bad. Honestly, I have to say, YouTube compression, it's not that terrible.
Oh, you could tell.
The podcast looked okay. I just shrunk it down to 720 and put a border around it.
That did give you a little bit more playground to kind of, stuff in like a crayon and on the bottom.
What I should do is record it 1080p and then upload it 4K with a border, with like stuff. So yeah, Florida Man says there are dozens of us. Yes, dozens.
Now
Dozens.
you're thinking it through.
Okay.
Kitty,
In
what do
three.
you want?
In
Kitty.
in
Kitty.
three.
Leave me alone, cat.
Are you threatening me?
Okay.
You're threatening me.
Sorry.
It's fine. Hey everybody, welcome back to the PC Perspective Podcast. This is episode 621 being recorded on March 24, 2021. I'm Sebastian Peak.
I'm Jeremy Hellstrom.
I'm Josh Walrath.
I'm going to be Brett Van Spenberg again tonight.
You can subscribe to find out when we go live for events like our podcast recording sessions, usually on Wednesday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern, by going to pcper.com/subscribe. We only use that list for good. We don't use it for evil. Well, not yet
Unless you
anyway.
consider the things that get written in there to be
Yeah, I
evil.
mean, I don't.
Yeah.
I glance over them. Brett has fun with these.
No, it's fine. Yes.
You can help support the site and our podcast by going to patreon.com/PCPer. Become a PC Per patron. Please. I can't think of any other
Now-
words to start with P.
I don't have anybody else to kind of, talk about this week other than the folks that joined us last week. So thank you very much for that, everybody. But I want to repeat what I said last week, which actually, for some reason, seemed to work. You can put your name here by actually subscribing while we're in the podcast. And I'll get a note and I'll be able to read whatever it is you type your name as out loud. Or if you're already a subscriber, go in and change your name and I'll read that out loud too, within very, very wide regions of decency. I wouldn't even say decency. I take that back.
I don't even know what you're saying, but if it works, it works.
People know.
Okay.
The right people.
Oh,
will
okay.
understand.
That's what it is. All right.
Mhm.
I'm reaching a certain audience.
And they know who
an
they
exclusive
are.
audience. More importantly, we've been podcasting now for at least 2 minutes, and we still haven't gone to Laramie, Wyoming, where Josh is going to set down his drinking glass and guide us through Burger of the Week.
What day is it,
So if you
Josh?
meet-
What
It's
day is
Wednesday,
it, Josh?
I've got to say something here. I just been eating, some junk lately and wasn't feeling great today, and so I had a salad.
But there was okay, last week was a 2-burger week. You cheated on us, Josh.
Yeah, but
on-
you did last Friday's, which is Friday.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
I can
Okay,
talk
so this
about
is-
that.
Okay, yeah, let's talk about fries
let's
of
talk
the
about
week.
it.
All right,
This
fries
is
to Laramie, Wyoming.
Friday. Now, right around the corner.
This is
from
also
Born
a
to
salad,
Barn,
I think.
pretty much. If you like
It's a different
starchy
kind of-
salads.
Yeah.
I
We
do.
all do.
Yeah. So around the corner from Born in a Barn, on the same block is a place called the Crowbar. It's a interesting and like pad thai fries, which is really good. You'd probably their most famous, one. The one I often get is the bulgogi fries, which again fantastic. But I did something a little different. I can't remember the name of this fry, but it's kind of Lebanese in ways. It's a wonderful basket of fries that are nicely cooked, crispy on the outside, tender on the inside. They are sprinkled with za'atar spices, I believe. And then on top of that is a lemon zest yogurt, which don't knock it until you try it. That then is covered with fresh basil, sliced tomatoes, and finally topped with lamb meat. So it's a very Lebanese Mediterranean type blend, and they went down very smoothly. They were fantastic fries, and I will be amazed if I make it to 50.
I don't know. It's a salad. Definitely a Lebanese take on a salad.
It's fantastic. Can't go wrong there. Either the pad thai fries, the bulgogi, or these ones are great as well. So they have another one that I think I've covered in the past that has a balsamic glaze on them, and I can't remember all the different parts, but really, really, really inspired fries there. And who would have thought that Laramie had such good food? 26,000 people. Yeah.
26,000 people, and at least one of them can cook. So it's,
At least two.
oh, that's right. It's just a different place. This is not Born in a Barn.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm going to interrupt this podcast momentarily to talk through a Keith or a John. I'm not sure. I might have missed a patron submission, and I apologize for that if I did. But definitely Keith or Jean, as I'm seeing, you're probably that same person.
Those names aren't even remotely similar.
No,
No,
because I'm
it's-
seeing them in two separate places.
Oh, I see.
So
Okay.
I think it's the same person anyways. But if this is you, really appreciate your support. Thanks very much, man. And hope you keep watching and chatting and talking. By the way, did you
Maybe
happen
it's
to
Cajun.
notice?
Jean Keith.
That could be. So yeah, that's
No,
that's
it
him.
really couldn't.
John Doe. I don't know. John Dodek.
Oh,
But it's
I
Keith.
see.
Thanks, man.
He's in the
Cheers.
YouTube
I
chat.
see it. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
hey,
can't you
you
see
know
where I'm
what? Even if
pointing?
you were a patron months ago, we're going to call you out now.
Yeah, exactly. That's about our pace, though. Sometimes that takes
Take-
that long.
Take advantage of the opportunity, since you're in the spotlight, to change your name on Patreon to something borderline questionable, and we'll have to read it out.
What, that we
Yes.
can butcher even more than this?
Yes, exactly.
Oh,
Okay.
Oh, there's an endless opportunity for just screwing up. So
All right, but at the risk of sounding like public television during their fundraising,
telethon.
yeah, let's move on quickly. Last week we talked about the Radeon 6700 XT, and we're going to talk about it again briefly. There were 3 reviews. I didn't get all 3 up on day 1. I had to kind of, finish testing and making charts for review number 3, which was from XFX. It's their Speedster Merc 319. Now, if you think XFX Speedster Merc 319 AMD Radeon RX 6700 XT Black Gaming is a long product name,
Wow, you didn't even breathe.
there is a longer version of it. It is the actual description, which you'll find on any online listing for this, is XFX Speedster Merc 319 AMD Radeon RX 6700 XT Black Gaming Graphics Card with 12 gigabytes GDDR6 HDMI 2.13 XDP AMD RDNA 2. I just butchered that, but that is the short version of the full product description. So it's a big card.
That's what its mother calls it when it's in trouble?
Impressive.
Yeah, it's a big card with a very long name. It
is a big card.
Yeah, and you know what? Josh knows all about it because you've got
It's
a
the
Merc.
same cooler as my 6800 XT that I have yet. I mean, I'm halfway written. I've told you that before. I mean, I'll send you proof that it's half written. But hang on, let me grab it.
They're going to compare sizes, aren't they? Audio
Excuse me,
listeners,
but
you
I-
are blessed right now.
Now
When
I
I
do
whip this
notice. I do notice one difference.
Okay.
You have one
right.
centered large fan.
Yes.
And then 2 smaller ones, and I've got 2 large outer fans and 1 smaller center.
Fascinating.
So
stuff.
it's not
Basically-
identical, is it?
Yep, Josh is bigger.
Let's see. Josh, camera 2. Show up that cooler. Okay. Small, middle. And it says
He's
Radeon
got a bit
above
more
the small
girth because he
fan,
paid
too.
more.
And then this
Yeah.
one, has the big fan in the middle, 2 smaller fans on the
Oh.
outside.
But how do you like the? What did you think of the LED branding?
I love it, and I forgot to
I
include
did
my
too. I
picture
mean, it
of
was
it.
so. I've got a picture of it I can send in, but
I've never
it's
had
so
a better.
subtle. It's
It-
nice.
It looks it's the most tastefully handled side card lighting I've seen, other than like a GeForce like Founders Edition card. But it's even more subtle than that because those glow pretty bright green. It's just
but
enough
no,
light.
this is yeah, it looks fantastic, and it's, I mean, the reds are very red and the white is white, and it all comes together to kind of like the Canadian flag, except not polite.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the Merc
no,
has a lot of
it's-
attitude. Merc is a beastly card, as you can see. It's got that, the modern trend is to have the big pass-through design. I love how it says Merc across the back here. Very it's aggressive. It looks like graffiti. It's a thick card. And two 8-pins. Two 8-pins for a 6700 XT.
I'll take it. And you've got the BIOS switch too, right?
Yes, you do. 2-position. There's that pass-through area. So it should be a pretty cool running card, you'd think. I'll just briefly touch on performance here because, it's a 6700 XT. It runs about a frame per second faster. It's kind of the same thing we saw with the Sapphire last week, although it did better in Division 2. I'm not sure exactly why. In Division 2, the other one was like neck and neck, or maybe not. I don't know what I'm saying. It seemed to do better overall, especially, what was the test? Was it Metro? Shadow of the Tomb Raider? One of them. Anyway, it's like 1 to 2 frames per second faster, sometimes more. It depends on the game. And as far as power draw, that 2 8-pin is drawing, let's see, total system draw was 366 watts versus 335 for reference. So it's like 30 watts more. But you'd expect that from a card that has a non-reference design and 2 8-pins. And then temps were great, of course, because of the huge cooler. And if you're watching the video, it's yellow and orange are the reference card, yellow being the reference GPU temp, which was something like 78 degrees C under load, and the hotspot was about 94. And then this card, it's the green and blue, so you have the GPU temp just under 60 under load. And then the hotspot was only mid to high 70s. So very, very good.
79 max.
Yeah. I don't know why I didn't
Man,
write
That's
that
I
down.
tell you,
I noticed this with the one I have. I mean, because XFX has done kind of a fantastic job in redefining themselves. Because if you look at the last generation stuff, it wasn't all that interesting, not all that exciting. Their cards were, okay. They cooled okay. They didn't have a whole lot of flair. I mean, their 5700 XT was, interesting, but again, it wasn't anything outside of the ordinary.
Josh,
But this year,
they brought the 590 Fat Boy to the table, though. Remember that?
boy, they did. I
Well, they
do.
used to be fun.
That was fun.
Yeah, yeah. Though when they were an NVIDIA only group, Pine Technologies, XFX.
Oh yeah.
They had interesting things. I think I've showed you in the past.
What, do you want to be on the show too?
What were they? Oh, the kitty. Sorry. They had what one was it? Gosh dang it, my mind is breaking. 68. It was the 7800 series, I think. Anyway, but regardless, they had interesting designs back then, and they came back. These Mercs are huge pieces. I mean, they're heavy, and they run cool. And if you take the time to actually tweak them, you can get a lot better performance out of them. I mean, you can really. I mean, it's 30 watts that it's pulling at the wall more than a standard. And if you get away from a lot of the automatic tuning and start doing it yourself and really, hammering on it, you can get the clocks up there. And can we talk about the regular 6700 XT clocks as it is? What was the highest that you saw this board go? You got to unmute yourself, though.
You have to unmute myself. Under 2600, I don't remember exactly. I have to pull up the chart, but For some reason,
26.
I didn't do frequency graphing in this.
Yeah. No, that for the 6800 XT with this cooler and the power delivery, it jumped up there significantly over what would be a standard. And so, yeah, you need to be patient, and you need to have the right tools, and you need to tweak it because it can deliver all that power to the chip, and it's got the cooling to handle it. So if it's anything like this 6800 XT I've got, it's one to take a look at. I mean, the non-overclock version, when they released it last week on Newegg, it was only $489 for the base model, not the overclocked, with that cooler, something like that. It was $499 maybe, but it was not significantly more expensive. And if you were lucky enough to actually have grabbed one in the giant shuffle of that morning, consider yourself lucky, because they're beefy cards and they're well built, and yeah, they'd be fun to play with.
Not to rain on your parade, but they launched this one with a $90 premium over
Yeah, I
the
thought-
stock
Yeah, that's
card.
they had two versions.
Okay.
The one that you've got, which is the $90 premium, and then the one that, because they had on the shuffle, there was a $499.
Yeah. This is the
Merc 319.
Speedster.
Yep.
There's more than
Yep.
one Merc. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, that's
So-
all theoretical, but right. I mean,
Yeah.
this. Am I crazy, or did they have
You're crazy.
consoles on the shuffle the other day too?
They
Like
they
the-
have they had a console shuffle today that was just a PS5 with an extra controller for like $559, which is not. That's not
No.
the abuse one. That's actually worth the time to do it. If
Yeah.
you wanted a PS5, did you not know about
Sebastian?
that one?
I did not.
Don't you have permission to buy?
I do, but
you
I
didn't
haven't. I've been completely unsuccessful in finding one. I just gave up. So
Oh,
if I'd known
man.
about the
would
shuffle,
not have even bought any games that you didn't want because
know.
it was just the controller and the
that hurts a little
PS5.
bit. It's okay.
Oh man,
I don't
I'm sorry.
need it, and in 6
I
months
tried
when I
to
can actually
talk to
buy
you,
one.
but you ignored me.
Well, I blocked your number.
Ooh.
Sorry.
He's an
Yeah.
optimist.
Hey,
6 months.
I've got a couple of messages that have just come in. Sebastian, one of these is for you.
Oh boy. Okay.
Oh,
Yep. Someone has just edited their pledge to, and I quote, Sebastian hates the youth. What
Sebastian
do you think
hates
they
the
mean by that?
youth.
Apparently.
Okay. Well,
so you're
any comment?
anti-punk,
I'm not.
huh?
I'm not disagreeing with that, but
And then
hate is a strong word.
someone else?
I don't get
it
youth
is.
culture, but it's okay. If I got it, they would just change it, because the whole point of youth culture is so that people who are around 40 like me don't understand anything that they're saying.
Oh, it's anti. It's anti. Just, it's whatever's popular, it's not.
Yeah.
So just move away from that.
No, that means they've accomplished their goal.
Yeah. And we did just get a brand new patron. So thank you very much. And that's Matt Mater. Mater, M-A-T-E-R. Mater, I guess, Ferguson. So yeah, thanks a lot, man.
Much
Otherwise known
appreciated.
as the people's poet. How does
Almost.
it feel, Neil, to cook a meal? Neil, with bloody lenses that cost £4.50. Neil.
Neil.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Sorry. If
when I-
you've never watched The Young Ones,
I
need
have,
to
but I
watch the
did
other
not
ones.
see that particular episode.
Oh.
But I do remember
Well, it's
the
not
episode
like there were
where
hundreds of
I nailed my
episodes.
legs to the table quite fondly.
yeah, it's a great series. Got it. Need to.
I've nailed my legs to
And
the
you get
table.
Alexi sales all the time, too, so it's brilliant.
Yeah.
Hey,
Anyway,
I'm sorry,
Jeremy.
what are we doing?
I don't know.
We
Jeremy,
were talking about a video card.
It's
no
over.
idea.
It's over. It's you can't buy it. Get on the shuffle. Get whatever one you can buy. The XFX ones have big quiet coolers, but they're huge and slightly faster than stock. Jeremy,
And now,
what-
okay, let's talk about the frame though. They've got a massive aluminum frame around it, and so it does not bend in your case.
I will say, and I don't have. It's not close by, but the 5700 XT XFX design was very plasticky. That had this automotive inspired design. There was like a grill, like a 1950s car grill, and it was all
Oh, yeah, I
plastic.
remember seeing
And
that. Yeah.
this
Really?
one is, like you said, it's aluminum. It feels more expensive. It feels better made. They went ahead and completely revamped the cooler design. They used more thermal pads. They were very adamant about their thermal design being improved from last gen. And if anybody follows Gamers Nexus, they were pretty brutal on XFX last generation. So I wondered how much of this in the reviewer's guide I'm reading through, like, this is like all like, please don't butcher us again. It's almost like it was written directly to GN, but who knows? I haven't seen their review yet. I don't know if XFX is still sampling them though. We'll see.
Ooh, yeah, good question. Might
Gaming,
shy away from them.
gaming in 2021. Jeremy, what is happening? What's coming?
If nothing, might as well just hang up, forget
Okay.
the year.
Well, then why is it on the list?
Well, because actually I was surprised that there is a couple of things. I mean, I'm not young enough to have grown up with Halo. I would already moved on and played other things, but people are really excited that Halo Infinite is going to be hitting possibly this year, most likely. And that really excites a lot of people and is great. I mean, Dying Light was another huge one that came out a few years back and was sort of like parkour zombie and is getting a follow-up as well. And again, I'm just sort of, I've never really picked it up, but I'm sure that it's amazing for some people. And then I realized that, this is actually the year that the new Pathfinder comes out. And Kingmaker was pretty good. It had some issues, but Wrath of the Righteous looks like they're going to take everything that they learned and make it significantly better. And that should be out in the summer. The one that you saw at the front there, Biomutant, which is, it's hard to say exactly what this thing is going to be because it's been in development for like forever and a half. It's sort of like a kung fu gun shoot 'em up mutant thing, so it could be really interesting. Warhammer 3 to expand Warhammer Total War 1 and 2, because these guys know how to just keep adding to a game as opposed to making you toss things out and starting over from scratch. So this is bolting on a chunk of the West to the initial maps you've already got, and of course it's going to have its own campaign. But what I was most disappointed by is that they gave Atomic Heart a mere honorable mention. Now, this is the one that we've been seeing around for, just over 2 years. It's been one of the big ones that NVIDIA has been pushing because it's going to be ray tracing support from the start. But it's got such like a Bioshock-y meets Metro, just to make it even darker kind of look to it, that honestly that's sort of the one that, for me at least, I'm most excited about this year, if only to see how much far the MSI 6800 XT that I got can do. So there are, and this is their picture mode. If you're looking at this right now, this is a new trailer for the picture mode that they do, which is actually incredibly slow motion, but you can get stills out of it. And it's not just what you're looking at. It takes the entire current, what's going on, including stuff that isn't being rendered for you, and shows it to you. And it's just obscenely gorgeous. The zoom on the thing is like, this guy has some of the best skin on the planet, so obviously at least something worked right. But, you look at these larger robots, and if you skip forward a little bit, that big one that's got the explosion on his head, well, look at the rust on him, and he's just picking up a boulder and throwing in, and behind it, all of this is going on. So, I mean, yeah, it might be a little bit of a cheat that you can actually take this picture and sort of roam around the game, but at the same time, I'm just finding it an amazing idea, and I'm really looking forward to beating the hell out of my hardware with this thing.
I like
Do
that.
you think there's... Oh, go ahead.
I like stuff that's taxing on hardware. It makes it fun to test and gives us an excuse to. Then again, I'm backtracking because you can't buy the hardware to push this. So
That was
Maybe that's
actually
not
what I
such
was
a
going
You
to
can
say.
buy the game at least.
Well, I'm wondering if game developers are going to actually maybe tune down any of their offerings to try and meet where their community is at. No idea.
Make it all
Or they're
like
just going to keep selling things into the high end.
like 8-bit style games. They'll play on anything.
Well,
so
maybe
that's-
not quite that.
the
far.
target-
Well, play
hardware-
Loop Hero then.
The target hardware
Or
needs to
let
be
it
a
play.
Raspberry Pi. If it can
Okay,
play
You're
on a
just
Raspberry Pi.
extreming this now, but
If it plays on a laptop with integrated graphics from 6 years ago.
Hey, there are a lot of popular games among us that
Solitaire. People love playing classic Solitaire on Windows. You see it every day. Just roll out the Solitaire from the start menu. You know, you don't even
I meant
need
literally
a fancy
Among
game
Us.
store. Oh, like actual Solitaire with cards? No, I feel like people just play it on their
Among
phones
Us,
now.
the game.
Yes. Which is
Tetris.
very untaxing but very popular, as an example.
You know, oddly enough, Valheim is pretty taxing. You crank the settings up, and it can get mid-range cards pretty good, and you think, oh, it's just a Minecraft knockoff. Oh, they've got these kind of strange little textures that are very, in ways like advanced Minecrafty, but no, they've got some serious lighting effects and other shader effects that kind of hammers it for being what it is. Maybe it's just unoptimized, but it still looks good. You go wandering around and you've got these extreme depth of field things, and sunsets are wonderful, and yeah, the lighting is fantastic all around. It kind of hammers your machine a little bit more
I
than
could
you
see
think.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the lighting is really pretty intense.
But is it fully
But yeah.
path traced?
No, it's not, but
It's a
it
nice
is.
looking
You have
water.
to build the path yourself.
I like
great
the
water.
It's
Yeah.
it is prettier than you think,
Yeah.
and it's a fun
Yeah,
style.
Kingdom Come
so.
does the same thing. It really hammers things.
Yeah, Kingdom
should
Come
pick
was
this.
something else.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, Valheim's great, fun, enjoyed a lot.
Josh's pick of the week.
Go ahead.
Valheim.
That was last week or 2 weeks
Yeah,
or
it was
something.
last
Oh,
like
was
that.
it? Okay.
Yeah, the next one is
And I'm
a
busy
brief mention
surviving
of-
Mars.
There's
They
a
mentioned
little
it last
collision.
week,
There's a
didn't
bit
they?
of collisions here this week. Sorry.
Collisions.
What else is new?
Let's go to Cyberpunk. Come on,
Cyberpunk.
Jared.
Yeah, the next
Go,
one.
go, go,
Definitely
go,
Cyberpunk
Yeah.
patch 1.2.
We're 8:30.
So
Not for the
people have been
cheap seats.
complaining that when you just certainly randomly when you do something bad, the police would teleport in directly behind you, and they were a little bit upset about that because it is kind of annoying that you look around and assumably I still haven't played the damn thing. You assume the coast is clear, you do something, and poop! All of a sudden you're being just arrested by the invisible cop. Well, they've taken this to heart. CD Projekt Red has done the best that they can, and now the cop will just automatically spawn a bit further away from you. I hope you appreciate all of the work that's gone into this.
Jeremy, they
Wonderful.
did some driving changes too, and the as you can see on the screen right here, with the ability to turn off double tapping movement to dodge because people were rolling off of buildings and die accidentally.
Yeah, I mean, they're committed to make the game playable by, some point in the future. Remember, we saw that roadmap. I think the Holy Grail is what, like 2.0? Like 1.2 was going to get us through the year, and then eventually it'll be up to version 2, and that'll basically be like out of beta. But don't worry, it's still
Well,
full price.
That's when I'm going to sit down and play it. Whenever
When it's
they reach
when it's
that
discounted.
point.
When do you think
No,
it'll ever
well,
discount?
sure.
that too.
Yeah, that too.
Well, I've already seen it for 20% off and just decided, it's
they
only
have?
60% complete though.
Interesting.
What is it? Is it still $59 at 20% off?
No,
Something
let's
like
see.
that,
Oh,
yeah.
hey, is it still 20? It's 20% off, isn't it?
It
Let's
is.
see.
Where?
I gotta put
Where,
in the
GOG?
birth date here. No,
GOG or Steam?
Steam. Here is Steam's product page for it,
Yes.
and it is 20% off. It's $47.99.
Please buy it. Please.
That's not
please.
enough of a discount.
Invest.
It should be $39 regular price. and then on sale from there.
Cyberpunk 20% off. Also, Cyberpunk on GOG
On GOG,
$47.99.
so it's officially sanctioned, of course. Okay.
Yeah, no, they're maybe feeling a little desperate.
What about for original PlayStation or like PS4? Like, I'm sure.
I'm sorry. I think
Wonder if
the
you-
fast thing for you to do is just go take your machine and set it on fire.
I wonder if used copies are even selling for $20 for PS4.
Mm.
Oh man.
Oh yeah, that was the other thing. In Canada, it's 64 at 20% off. So it's like, you know what? No, just no.
Just no.
Are you tired of having all your prices derivative of US dollars?
It's confusing because
No, it
Canadian
amuses me.
dollars are still called dollars. Like, what am I
I know it
supposed to
is.
believe? Who can I trust?
Trust the people with the attractive looking money.
What would the Queen
To
say?
me, all money is pretty attractive at this point.
Well, there is that, but
Yeah.
you got to admit that yours is all sort of just this boring color.
Green, 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 green. I bet Josh can talk about this next one.
Don't ruin the
Intel.
classics, Jeremy.
Intel's coming
Oh
back,
gosh, do
man.
we have to talk about?
Josh, did you see Intel Unleashed yesterday?
You know, I did not watch it, but I kind of read about some stuff and I heard about it, and you know, Pat is he's kicking some tires. He's
On fire,
putting
man.
some things out there. Yeah, and the biggest news is, of course, that they're investing $20 billion into 2 more fabs in Arizona, and the assumption is the U.S. government will be kicking in some money as well, because one of the big things with Biden was to have, you know, an increased domestic manufacturing of semiconductors, because the vast majority of cutting edge stuff is now all in Asia, whether it's Taiwan or Korea. It has moved away from upstate New York, where, you know, Global Foundries, you know, used to have kind of cutting edge processes, but now hasn't. And of course, in California, well, not California, but Oregon and Arizona, Intel used to have cutting edge processes, working cutting edge processes. So they're, you know, they're positive about their 7 nanometer. They're trying to simplify the flows and use more EUV, so that hopefully they'll have actual products out in reasonable timeframes. But reasonable timeframes is still looking like 2023. But they're going to try to do a fabless kind of setup where they will service companies from North America and Europe primarily. And you know, they're going to have you know, kind of standardized flows and design tools and stuff like that that'll work with Intel Fab technology that they'll be you know, offering to other people. I mean,
Seems a lot more
previously,
friendly, letting people come in. Hey, we'll build your stuff. We'll get it made.
you know, if you can get
Yes.
other people to leverage your R&D when it comes to manufacturing,
Yeah.
you want to do that. And I think they kind of see the way the winds are blowing, because I mean, what are the
Pat is,
options here? I mean, you keep the fabs as they are, and when you have downturns in fabrication technology where you made a couple of bad decisions in the past, things aren't working out, and your products are not as competitive. And this is, of course, we're in bizarro world right now. Even though Intel's parts are not all that competitive in terms of price, performance, and power, the demand is so high that they still have a high utilization of their fabs. But, you know, this is, you know, once in a century event. And in any other, you know, regular time, Intel would be hurting and having lower utilization of their fabs. So, you know, keeping it that way is not effective and efficient. The other option is to go AMD and to spin off your fabs and that takes a lot of control out of Intel's hands, because as we've seen with Global Foundries, I mean, AMD, when they had their fabs, they would push next generation process. No matter what, we're going to hammer through this issue. We're going to spend the money. We've got to compete with Intel. And Global Foundries are like, we don't feel like spending any more money on this cutting edge process. So sorry, AMD, you're out of luck. We're going to focus on RF stuff. We're going to focus on planar, fully depleted SOI. We're going to have our 14 nanometer stuff. We're going to have our 12. We're going to make some bucks on 28 nanometer HK, high K metal gate, because the automotive industry still utilizes that tremendously. And then, of course, Intel has the third option where they keep control of the fabs, but they allow more people in than they have in the past. Because remember, a few years ago, they had kind of a pseudo third-party foundry thing going for a handful of companies. That never really got off the ground. It was not successful. Nobody was really happy with it. There were enough roadblocks in there. It was not cutting-edge process. It was just kind of a miserable failure for Intel and its partners. And they ended up going, other routes. So this seems like a better way of doing it. They're opening things up. There's talk about licensing out, x86 designs. Maybe not quite in ARM fashion, but offering that technology out there for people who are willing to pay for it. So it's going to be interesting to see. It's going to still several years down the road. But the interesting thing that I know I've gone off on way off on manufacturing tangent, but they showed that Port Vecchio. Is that what that is? It's made.
Sort of an
it's
Italian
made
thing
up of
going on to it.
47 chips on one massive substrate.
Yeah.
And
call them chiplets.
it's highly.
Yep, not chiplets.
But what if I like chiclets?
You can't have them with your Intel plate.
Do they even sell chiclets anymore?
It's a good question,
Yeah, I can't remember, but anyway.
Can we talk about the fact that TikTok is back? I was excited about this. Not TikTok,
Yes.
TikTok. Okay, we all know that TikTok is here, and for now, it's here to stay. But we're talking about a different TikTok here, the original TikTok, not a social media video platform, but when they would come up with a new process tech, and the next year would have a new architecture.
And then plus
on
it, and then new process, and then
right,
plus
so
it.
that we got Westmere, Sandy Bridge, Ivy Bridge, Haswell, Rodwell, Skylake. Then we got Skylake. Then we got Skylake. Then Skylake. Then Skylake.
Skylake.
And
Skylake.
now we're backporting mobile process back to
Yeah,
desktop.
I don't know
and
I don't know how to.
It's a really funky waltz.
yeah,
That seems desperate. That last one.
Just a step to the left and 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 a step to the left. Now jump back a couple of paces.
Yeah. But I mean, Intel still keeps moving forward. Their packaging technology is really second to none in this case. And it'd be nice to get back to a regular cadence of products, and we'll expect to see something in 2022 kind of from that.
Josh, they are promising great things.
But
don't you think
we'll see if they
might
can actually deliver.
Yeah, it might come just a tad too late. They're talking about bringing their 7 nanometer processes online. I'm excited to see that they're investing in real fabs here in the U.S., Arizona, just like the other major players. But, projecting out there, it looks like they might be coming online just a little bit too late. I mean, don't you think that TSMC is going to be deep into their 3 nanometer production by the time they're bringing their 7 online? I mean, they're in 5.
I mean, five is
They're in
out
5 right
now. But
Yeah,
they've got
that's what I'm
one
saying.
customer?
Well, Apple's deep pockets, as far as I know. That's the 5 customer.
That's their first, and pretty much only customer. AMD has got
it's volume
now,
though, right?
Yeah, it is. But they're still going to be wafer constrained in ways, and they have a lot of their fabs in places that are not all that stable, whether geologically, water sourcing, or China 100 miles away
Right.
making some interesting postures.
Funny you should mention the water.
Yeah.
Why do they keep building these plants in Arizona and Texas in the middle of the desert? Just curious.
Well, you
about
got the
that
big
one.
Colorado River that still, and plus they'd rather drain Las Vegas of water.
Oh,
So why not?
Okay, yeah. They
Yeah,
might
no,
protest,
that's
but
a really
whatever.
good question. But I mean, they have tremendous amount of water, not recuperation, but
Reclamation or something. like that?
recycling and reclamation
Oh, recycling.
in
Sure,
those
yeah.
things. Just because, Arizona is not exactly a tropical wetland.
No. They've got snow at the higher elevations, but that's about it.
Yeah.
All right, we've beat this one to death.
Yeah. The next topic is of interest to, I think, anybody who, I think especially over the last year, has played
Heck yeah.
any kind of console games. The Nintendo Switch has been huge. It's Nintendo, so it's first-party Nintendo stuff. There was a really popular new version of Animal Crossing that was Ring Fit Adventure was impossible to buy for a while because people were exercising at home when they couldn't go anywhere. And the thing about the Switch is, I didn't realize this. I think it's around 5 years old at this point, and it's
Sounds about
still
right.
still using the same Tegra X1 chip.
Man,
I think
that's
it's a
got to be getting close to
16
EOL, man.
nanometer version of it. Yeah, there was a rumor that Nvidia is going to discontinue it. There's already been rumors for a while there'll be a Switch Pro to replace the Nintendo Switch. Now what they're saying is there's a report out there, and I saw this on Bloomberg and The Verge and various outlets. I see here we have an article from The Gamer. I'm not sure who these people are, but that it's going to have DLSS support, which makes perfect sense because it doesn't really... It's not even really a true 1080p console right now.
No, the handheld is 720p. Even the Pro version they're predicting is still going to be handheld 720p.
Which makes sense, but also that if it's 1280 by 720, here's where DLSS makes a lot of sense because then you do a 4x upscale with AI enhancements, and then this little thing is actually able to sort of integer upscale to 4K. And who knows, maybe they're going to do double 1080p. And my math is way off now because I'm thinking about it, and 4 times 1280 by 720 is not 4K. But
No, 720
3x?
by 4 is you're correct. It's 724x, but not 1080.
okay, I don't know what I'm
But
talking about.
I think you want to note that when docked, the Pro is supposed to be 4K.
It's not going to be.
That's-
It's not going to be 4K. It'll be 4K
Well,
with
the Pro
DLSS,
version-
as in it'll be a 2x upscale. Just watch.
Yes,
because they said
yes.
this. There were all these
4K.
rumors about the Switch the first time, where it was going to have this amazing GPU in the dock, and the dock is literally a piece of plastic with a little
I know.
logic in it that lets you adapt an HDMI cable through its like bottom video in port.
Oh yeah,
and
that's
charge it.
today though. I mean,
Right.
we don't. There's and nothing like the whatever this Pro thing actually exists today, right?
And the
whatever
architecture that they are assuming, at least some of these reports are assuming will be in it, is brand new, unreleased architecture from NVIDIA. It's not anything current gen, is what I'm reading. So that was the same thing that we heard about the Switch the first time, that it was going to be not. I think they said it was going to be Turing, and it's not. Of course, it was an old tablet chip. But
Yeah, the Tegra. Yeah.
anyway, we'll see. I think NVIDIA, they already have a pretty big win here in the console space, kind of low key though, because AMD makes a big deal out of the fact that they're in Xbox and PlayStation. But more people buy the Switch because A, it's available, and B, it's got all the family-friendly first-party Nintendo titles. What they've been lacking is day-and-date releases of AAA titles, aka shooters and etc. If they have a faster console, suddenly that's not a problem. They could
Hey,
have
not
had-
every parent wants to put a bloody shooter in the hands of their 10-year-old.
Yeah, but the parent might choose to play a shooter, and if you only
That's
own
true.
a Switch, it would be nice to, hey, I just need a Switch. I can carry it with me anywhere I
You're
go.
right about that.
Plays all the same games as a PS4 and an Xbox do. I'll just get the Switch. Because
Yeah.
it's $299. and the Switch Lite is $199. What I worry about though is availability, because the stories about this are like holiday. It's planned for the holiday season. Here's The Verge, like planned for holiday 2021. There won't be any.
Too soon.
No,
if,
no.
if this is coming that fast, I don't know if you remember when the Wii U was discontinued and they quietly recalled units from retail. That holiday season, there were no Nintendo consoles for sale for Christmas in the US. It was bizarre. I could not go into a store and find anything. There were no 3DS handhelds, 2DS handhelds, or Wii U units that winter. It wasn't until, was it March that the Switch launched the following year? So there was a period of 3 or 4 months where it was
I don't know, man.
rare.
It was 5 years ago.
Yeah, it was rare to find a Nintendo console in the store. If they do that again, they'll have a disastrous holiday here. That will only happen if the current gen chip is discontinued, if NVIDIA really stops producing the X1, which I find hard to fathom. But there's no way they could ramp up a new chip on new architecture that fast at the kind of volume they'd need to sell a brand new console for holiday.
Yeah, that's a good point. Not unless they've pre-booked the process to get it built. I mean, there's no slack in the
Wouldn't we
chip
have
making,
supply chain leaks by now, though?
Yeah, I guess you're right.
This is
about
being
that.
fed to the usual suspects. Like so far, this is just it smells to me like an intentional leak. Like, hey, something new is coming. But there,
Right.
Yeah, but they had to delay that
details.
because they're all on a cargo ship in the Suez Canal.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that cargo ship, Josh. Tell me you had nothing to do with that. You can't.
They were
That's just
apparently
kinda-
showing burger pics on the bridge, and things got out of control.
They lost.
Someone got
they lost control of
excited
the
and-
ship.
No, I did. They
Hey!
killed the electrics. Probably. They got really excited.
I
Steering
just
wet.
recently got a new email here from a patron. Just want to say thank you, and their name is Cult of Melvinino. Meltavinio. I know who they meant. They just spelled it wrong, and I can't talk.
Is there a proper way to spell it?
No, there isn't. I don't even
I
think he
didn't think
knows
so.
how to spell it.
No, he makes it up.
But Cult of Maltavino just became a patron, and we thank you very
It's a
much.
fine red wine.
Yes.
It's not quite a sherry. Not a mile back.
I'm drinking Cult Maltavino right now.
That's gross. But, enjoy that extra selenium.
You know what? I like my heavy metals in my drink.
Gives you a healthy glow.
Selenium. It's
Okay, fine.
never
It's.
mind.
I'm reaching.
It's in speakers.
All right, quickly, let's talk about.
Salty.
Fast.
I mean, it could be in speakers. Really
Let's-
like your speakers.
Let's talk about Paul Thurrott. All right, Thurrott.com has. This is where I read the story, so I just switched over to this. And I was scrolling to get to the story, and I see a familiar face down here. Look at this. There's
Hey.
Ryan Shrout was on Windows Weekly, episode 716. You might want to check that out. But the big news is that Microsoft. Where is the story?
He's going to let you print from Windows 10 again?
Scrolling. Where is
No, the
it?
printers
There's a
can't be
story
found,
about,
Jeremy.
There's a story about Discord. Here it is. Here it is. Microsoft may buy Discord for over $10 billion. Now, of course, Discord has the option of going public instead. They've been exploring their options. Do you think...
Yeah, they're not making any money, though, so that's probably not going to go well.
Who, Discord?
Is
Or
Ventrilo
what?
even
It's-
a thing anymore?
Trello? I don't know.
No,
You're talking about
Ventrilo.
HipChat?
Ventrilo.
No, Ventrilo. Open yours,
No.
jackass.
Gone. Dead.
I have to drink my selenium now.
Sadly, it all goes in
my
one long
selenium.
string. So,
Yeah. Oh. No
Hey, at least
flossing
Josh
joke.
finds Josh funny.
at least I do. I'm the only person.
Hey, they have to replace Mixer. So Discord could be the answer for that. I don't think Discord needs to make
It'll
money.
become an add-in for Teams.
Discord does not need to make money to be a wildly successful public company. Look
okay.
at Tesla. Does Tesla make money?
Have a little perspective here. For God's sakes, man, they just bought Bethesda for only $7.5 billion. Discord is worth 10. Please,
I agree.
perspective.
No, I think it is. Just trust me on this one. As an
Skype was
investment advisor,
8.5.
Discord is such a huge platform, and it's only going to get bigger because as usage patterns change, as niche video gaming websites shut down one after the other, and their communities go to Discord, and Discord channels are built around people who don't use the internet the same way that we did 20 years ago. I think it's a huge deal, and the fact that it's also a streaming hub. It can be a kind of a Twitch replacement depending on how you use it, and it has excellent voice quality for audio chats, and people use it as a platform to do podcasting and stuff. I think it's a tremendous platform myself. We use it internally. We just have like a private Discord, like on our public Discord, of course, if you have a Discord server, you can create like private channels and stuff. So we have like a staff chat where we can discuss things, and it works flawlessly. There's no actual functional difference to me using Discord versus Slack, as wildly popular as Slack has been. And of course, Microsoft
like
has
Discord
their own platform.
Better than Slack, actually.
So do I.
Personally.
Seems to be a little
Slack's getting
bit
fancier too.
lighter. Like it, but I don't know. And of course it's free, so that helps. It's a free platform.
Well, that also hurts their bottom line.
right.
No,
'cause
part of I think that the reason that Microsoft is looking at this is because over the past year, apparently usage cases of Discord and sheer amounts of channels, the gaming ones have been overwhelmed by old ladies exchanging sewing patterns. Entire school districts have taken.
It's not true.
Have literally
Come on.
started Discord channels, and they're, instead of paying a company, they're literally doing the teaching through Discord. So all of a sudden it's gone from sort of a little niche market to people stumble upon it, they tell their friends, and you've got this huge, gigantic amount of people using it that are so far and beyond, what you'd think of as Twitch streamers or, small internal teams like us. So I could see them doing it, and they're just about to kill Skype. Skype for Business is gone as of July 31st. So
weird.
I could totally see Discord being integrated into Teams and becoming a different interface for those people that don't want the Teams look and want this sort of Discord
You'd think,
look.
why would Microsoft need that unless, I think it was Paul Thurrott's article, it was saying that this would be something that they would integrate into Xbox. It would just be part of the whole Xbox.
Could do that too.
But if
That
they
would
already have
probably be
Teams,
the
why would they
smartest.
want the Discord branding unless they're going to try to appeal to like youth markets or gamers?
I don't know, but it's I mean, Discord is where the Twitch streamers go. I mean, you go in there and it's easy to set up your own server and you don't have to pay for crap. I mean, unless you go into, heavier duty stuff that I am unaware of, which obviously that's a lot of stuff. In previous things, and like I think in Ventrilo, if you wanted to have that kind of stuff, you had to pay money. You had to do a monthly fee on some stuff, and now it's just part of Discord. I don't know how they make money. I don't get it.
Well, there's
don't-
boosting, because like the sort of light version of a professional level account is 2 people boost, and suddenly your video streaming quality goes up and your audio quality goes up. And I think if you have like 4 or more, then it goes up again or something. There's sort of a rudimentary pro experience there, but it's one of those things where anytime a service that gets popular that's free happens,
It's
it's either
absorbed.
going to be a huge IPO or somebody's going to buy it. So we'll see.
So they're going to buy it. So that's all right. I'll take it.
Yeah, Microsoft should buy YouTube. Well, Microsoft doesn't have Google's money, I don't think. Like
No.
Google is pretty big. I don't know if Microsoft could afford it.
Yeah.
YouTube has
probably not.
become the default platform for not only video uploads on the internet, but audio. This is where anybody younger than me apparently gets music, and it's been that way for a long time. And now, of course,
True.
they did away with Play, and now it's just Google. Like YouTube Music has replaced it.
Yeah, and now I won't use it anymore because YouTube Music sucks so
does.
bad.
Although I have to say,
YouTube is
audio.
YouTube is also the second biggest search engine
yeah,
behind Google.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's not a lie.
Weirdly true.
It's why would you even
How do I
use
get
Google
this
when
out
you,
of that?
the only thing you want is a video
need a
anyway.
video.
Video review of, video how to, video clip of whatever thing that
Got to
everybody's
get those
linking
3D
to.
Game Man videos. I wonder if they're even on YouTube because you had to pay him money to see them.
Yeah, you did, and it was personal too.
He was always pimping
hosting
out his wife.
Yeah.
What did you say?
He had this really attractive redheaded wife who was often in skimpy outfits, holding onto cards.
Yeah.
And
Picture
looking
the old
sultry.
magician act.
Yeah.
Yeah, like literally.
Let's
Hey,
pause
we had
here.
a guy in our Discord who built a custom Discord server around his daybed, and he knows who he is.
Yeah.
That's not a lie.
So it's not a lie. It's actually true.
That's kind of along the lines of the people who made Facebook accounts for their pet. Like you don't have to go that far. We know you love your dog.
I think his daybed was more special than a pet.
Maybe they work for FIFA and they wanted to give it something to do in that New York City apartment.
My cat's snoring.
That means there will be 50% less cat butt on the show.
Hold on.
Boost that mic.
Pump up the volume.
Christian Slater.
Some of the
Tell
least
it's the
compelling.
internet when everyone immediately pauses to have interaction with a cat.
Some of the least.
Yeah, at
compelling
the very
podcasts
end,
we've
she
ever
had
done.
2 little snores, but that was it. So
Okay.
sorry.
Oh, if I could bring this over to Eris, that he sounds like a log getting sawed sometimes.
All right. Time out. Let's pause here to hear from this week's podcast sponsor.
That would be a big thank you to ExpressVPN.
Oh, and we're back. Did you know that GeForce Now is... Wait, let me get this right. GeForce is now more expensive. GeForce Now more... I don't know. How did Jeremy word this?
Yeah, he worded exactly why you're
GeForce
stumbling
now
over it.
costs more.
GeForce Now... Oh, okay. That's actually pretty clever.
It is.
Let's look at this.
I had to hand it to him on that
My
one.
competition is,
GeForce Now costs more money. That's clever. It's but not for
It does.
early adopters, right?
Well, I mean, if you originally started up with their $5 a month and have never once let it lapse, you are now a founder. And congratulations. Yeah, we're back to Surviving Mars again for some reason. But if you can continue to pay and you never get late, you will never see an increase in your charge. At least this is what the Founders Edition is going to do. If, on the other hand, you've dabbled your feet into it but haven't really stuck with it, well, it's now going to be $10 a month. And that... Of course, sorry, for anyone that's a little bit worried, the free version still exists. You get up to an hour's worth of play on limited access servers, whenever you can manage to get on. But if you're paying for the service, it will now be $10 a month US or $100 a year to be able to get access to their entire library of games without an hourly cap on it, to be able to access ray tracing and DLSS without not needing the hardware that you can't buy right now because they're doing that all for you. And they're also looking at pumping up new servers. You'll get one in Phoenix, one in Arizona. They're even going to put one up here in Montreal. They're also looking at global localization. They've recently launched one in, I believe it was Turkey. And when they launch one there, it also means that every game available there has been translated into Turkish. So as they expand into other countries, you should be seeing games that now have the localization to be able to let you pay for it. This is got to be annoying for a lot of people that wanted to try it. But there is one thing that makes me a little less annoyed with them than I normally would be. These are the only surviving video streaming or video game streaming service. Stadia's dead. OnLive's dead. Any of the other ones that sort of tried out have essentially gone up in flames, or just have one little person sort of trying to drag a mostly dead corpse along with that 5 people that still play it. Stadia is not technically still alive. It's been taken out back and shot. It just doesn't know it yet. But seriously.
Oh yeah, Stadia's dead.
So GeForce now is really the only surviving one, and somehow they've bloody well managed to do it. Every other one you signed up for and you just sort of bailed because they were horrible experiences. Somehow NVIDIA's sort of managed to do this. So on the one hand, you got to hate the doubling in price. On the other, I almost understand why, because hey, you've got a monopoly at this point. Not that I'm
Well,
actually
that and you can't buy new hardware to run new
that
games.
helps too.
But I mean, they're
Hey,
selling
this
everything they
actually-
make, so they don't need the profits. But
True. But
Nobody
this also brought
needs-
AAA PC gaming to the Mac.
Oh, brother.
No,
it
Dave,
always comes
no.
back to the Mac.
There it is.
It always comes back to Apple, doesn't it?
So can you service
So
your Mac
what?
at a micro station? Wait, micro center?
Yeah, Micro Center. Will they service it there?
Micro
No, I don't
Station.
need. I don't.
I need to
don't
calm down.
that
I need
kind
to
of
drink
service.
some bottled water and check my iPhone. Hold on.
Yes, yeah. Lower your blood pressure a little bit on this one
Hold on. All right.
because
That's
it's
all you
actually
immediately
true.
use.
Face ID is it's a flawless product. All right.
Especially when you're wearing your mask.
Yeah, the FPS review. Who, by the way, they have implemented. I don't know if I saw this before. A contents plugin on WordPress. It looks like.
It's not as cool as ours, but yes.
Kudos.
Ours
Well,
is
it's
better.
not, but it's there. They have the content.
Ours is better.
FPS review. These are the people
They've had it
from
for
Hard OCP.
a long
you don't
time,
remember.
Sebastian.
Okay. All right. Well,
This is how I know that ours is better.
All right. Well, they have. This is a bizarre looking, kind of awesome looking cooler. The Ice Sleet X7 Dual Chilling Achievement Design.
It looks like it's carved from a lake.
Yeah, it's different.
It's certainly different.
Look at this packaging. So plain, but I don't know. It's like teal
No, just
accents
wait.
are kind of different. You know, Noctua has brown. This company apparently has teal.
Aqua.
Oh,
No?
aqua. All right.
Teal?
I guess it depends. I mean,
You're
audio
both right.
listeners, you decide.
You're both
Carefully listen to these pictures and
Yes.
tell
The
me
answer-
in the comments. Complete
Yep, the answer
bond.
is
what
yes.
What is complete bond soldering?
I haven't the slightest freaking idea, and I actually spent some time looking it up.
That is
Soldering
some strong
bond
marketing
creates an optimum utilization of the cooler.
Okay, so when you have less expensive coolers like that, oftentimes there are gaps in between the copper heat pipes
Like the heat
and the fins themselves.
Aha!
Okay.
So they
didn't
just have a
half-ass
better
the job.
quality control that there's actual connection in between all 360 degrees of the heat pipe to the fins.
But who cares about the fins? Look at this shroud.
Hey, you know what? The Swedes care about the fins. The Estonians care about the fins.
Well, I don't know
the
how much
Russians
the
really
Swedes
care about them. Anyway.
Yes.
You're probably right about that.
They keep an eye out for them.
Oh,
And
see.
besides the heat pipe architecture, you skipped over that. It has wide sweeping curves, which will
Okay.
increase your PC's performance.
Yes.
Where are they hiding the wide sweeping?
Wait.
curves inside
Scroll
that
up a
ice
little bit,
cube?
would you? Scroll up.
Where? More?
Is that a GTX 460?
For
Better believe
80.
it.
Oh, is it a
It's
460?
460.
Look,
No,
when
I
you're
think it's
testing
460.
when you're testing coolers, you don't need a GPU. I prefer a passive GPU
Look,
myself because it doesn't
That
have to worry
was
about noise.
that was the best GPU they had.
available. Yeah,
Yeah.
because they're mining with all the other ones. All right, let's see. Hyper 212 Evo stock clock testing with what? What processor here? For our stock clock testing, we've configured our CPU to run at factory settings for speed,
It's a Ryzen 7 2700X, first
Okay.
at 3.7 gigahertz on all core, and then at 4.1.
Okay.
And they're
I
also
mean-
sort of blowing the lead because they recently just released the Dark Rock Pro 4 review as well.
I see.
So this is their brand new test bench. So
Okay.
even though it does look a little funny, and you'd wonder that the shroud is maybe insulating it, testing says no.
Yeah, but okay.
I see that.
I have no problem with using a Ryzen 2700 series CPU for your test bench, but I think there might be some reporting discrepancies, or I don't know, because I don't see how a 212 Evo could be beating a Dark Rock Pro 4. It's only 2 degrees or 1.5 degrees, but still, we're talking 50, and these are all very closely kind of lumped together. We're talking 56.5, 56.88,
Margin of error,
57.
mate.
It could just be that this CPU is just a 56 to 57C CPU, regardless of the cooler they have.
Those
on
are
it.
also absolutes, and they should probably take into account some ambient. So you
We're
can't
not.
tell.
Yeah, well, this is not a review of the review. I was hoping for bigger
It kind of is.
deltas here. It's like, what's the
They're-
room temperature? Guess I need to go back to the
That's
other
it
page.
exactly. I mean, when you quote absolutes, you have to subtract the ambient. So it's a little suspect.
So what
What do you got there,
what
man?
would you offer me? How much?
The
Oh.
Russians will pay deep for that. Is that
Ooh.
StarCraft on the cover? It is. StarCraft.
Wait,
It's got
The
this
Zen
X.
GTX. That's not StarCraft.
It is StarCraft. That picture right
Try-
there.
oh,
the,
try
little,
try it.
versus-
It's try it for free.
the little picture.
I don't want to try it. I just want to have it. But no, Blizzard, man, they wanted to
Yeah, Blizzard.
make every
Yeah.
penny off of it. But yeah, GTX 460, almost within arm's reach.
I love that old Asus product packaging. Although the old who's did the really ridiculous ATI graphics cards with like the fantasy girls on the shroud of the card.
Oh, there was so many.
Yeah.
It's not even funny.
Thinking of
Chain
Diamond,
Tech used to
probably.
have
Oh, yeah.
amazing and Winfast.
Chain Tech. Oh my gosh. I forgot all about that name.
Cat, stop scratching me.
Okay, next on the
Anyway.
list.
Moving along.
Yes, check out that review at FBS Review. See if you can make more sense. of
Oh,
it
and
than
if you
we
want
did.
something bad about it, Sebastian, it's much louder than the other ones.
that doesn't surprise
If that
me.
makes you feel better.
Like a tunnel, and they're
Yeah.
like high-speed fan through a tunnel. DDR5. DDR5. How about, okay, DDR5 not available yet. What if you take DDR4 up to 5,000? How's that for a transition as I correct a error?
Not bad.
Let's
The
see
power
what's-
reading is off the
They
scale.
resized it. Dang it.
the
Yeah, I mean-
Spectrix D50 Extreme 16 gigabyte kit. 16
And it,
gigabyte.
5,000 megahertz, it is pretty extreme.
What can you even run 5,000
Yeah, really.
megahertz RAM
Well,
on?
nothing that
Why
Tech
do
Power
this?
had. They
So-
tried the Meg Z47 or 490 Godlike and the X570 Ace, and they both could only do the XMP 4800. Neither could hit the 5,000 stably.
What about
The Intel
Intel?
would boot into Windows and then fall down, go boom.
Okay, so they could run it at 48, but not 5,000.
Yes, with the proper timings that you'd expect. So, of course, the overclocking results kind of sucked. It does beautifully in synthetic benchmarks.
Well, naturally.
Like, it just looks gorgeous. When you get into gaming, and of course, Intel was blowing AMD away at this point. It's just significantly faster with the, what is it, a i9-10 900K, I think it was, that they were using.
You mean
Was I
in
trying to
memory
find that?
clocking? You know how high they could clock.
Oh, no, either one was 4800 megahertz.
Oh, overall.
That was it.
Oh.
Boom. Neither system could get better. Which, considering you're spending $850 on this thing, is probably going to disappoint some people.
Yeah.
116 gig kit.
Yeah.
and it,
It's a lot of money.
I don't understand that unless you're
I don't
trying to.
either.
It's, okay.
And in gaming, there was a good like 1 or 2 frames per second difference between it and some of the other good low latency kits at significantly lower frequencies.
Were they able to do anything with overclocking?
Yes, on the AMD side, they decided, all right, well, let's back it back down to DDR4 3600 and tighten the timings with the Ryzen memory calculator. And so at least that did have an effect on synthetic benchmarking. There's a reason that they didn't post the game
when all you're running is Cinebench,
Yeah.
I mean, if that's your
Well,
that's
no,
your goal
no,
in
it's
life.
the Ada 64 memory stuff. Like, yeah,
Oh,
I-
okay. All
I-
right.
But it does sort of give you an example of this is the level of RAM and CPU that you need to game, purely. If you move over into production, this will actually make a difference. Like, you would actually notice a difference. But the idea of spending $850 on a DDR4 3600 kit that you can just tighten the timings to a point where other kits that actually sell as 3600 kits could do it for half the price or less. It's a really hard argument to even think about trying to go with this right now.
yeah, you don't need it. But think about the Trident Z Neo kit that I reviewed a while back, which was
They're so pretty.
but it was $250 or something, which for 16
Yeah.
gigabytes seemed like a lot, but it was 3600 with CAS 14, I think. And you don't have to go
Yeah,
that low.
that's about what it
You
was.
can get kits of 3600 CAS 16 much more cheaply than that for 16 gigabytes, and that's a sweet spot right there. Yes, you can get more performance with higher frequencies. You need a processor that can run higher base clocks. Most Ryzen 3000 and above processors are going to run 1800 base clock all day without any issue, and you can run 3600 memory, and you get a not huge, but a noticeable performance uplift in your whole system and in gaming. So, and companies want to send these ultra high frequency kits out because I guess it's a point of differentiation or something. I have a Guile 4400 kit I need to get to. But again, after 3600, once you get that F clock up to 1800, there are diminishing returns.
Mm-hmm.
And the price goes up and up.
It's
and
not
up.
reliable, right? Higher than 18?
Yeah, and then you're running
Yeah. Then you're
you're
not
not doing a
synchronous.
2-to-1 F clock
Yeah.
RAM ratio above that unless you can get it to run
Right.
at like 2000, and then
And then Josh well knows AMD, if you're doing professional stuff, DDR4 3200. That's where you want to be. It's just
Wait, what?
significantly more. Every official press release, if you're using Threadripper or an Epic for production.
Oh,
DDR4
yeah.
3200.
I mean, if you're got a 5000 series, you need 3600, CAS 16. And you're golden there, man. Just set it to XMP. 3200 is about 5% slower on the desktop. But yeah, to use, I obviously have not done Threadripper testing or Epic. But yeah,
But you play
if
with
your
them at work.
desktop, AMD 3600.
what I want to know is
but they're older ones, and so they barely
True.
run at 2933.
Oh, really? God, even
They're-
my
they're
1900X would do 32.
The first and second, 1000, 2000 series Threadrippers, they didn't, not very good.
Really? No, my first gen did 3200. It got really
Well,
upset
we've
if
got
you turned it higher.
128 gigs in there, so
Well,
They- they
that
fill
might
out.
make a difference.
Yeah.
for that memory speed, I don't think AMD even recommends over 2666 for that capacity. I mean,
yeah, it's like
Yeah, about
2133. So anyway,
I just don't understand why AMD still specs their CPUs at 3200 and the F clock at 1600 when it seems like the consensus among enthusiasts anyway is no, the base should be 36 and 18. But it's still 32, still 16.
It's probably a conspiracy.
If you just set everything to auto in your BIOS.
it's good enough.
Okay. Let's talk briefly. Brett, you posted this. USB
I did.
flash drives. What could be more exciting? Tell us more.
I don't know. Other than the name of this one, which I am actually totally tickled with, which is Supersonic Rage Pro. I love the name. That just kind of says it all with USB storage. The only interesting thing about this, well, there's a couple interesting things. One is that the sheer size of these things, up to 512 gig, is commendable, appreciable. Not bad for carrying around an entire, new boot disk from place to place, or gosh, whatever you really want to carry around. The other thing is that I had never heard of the UASP mode for accessing USB storage. Had you guys heard of this? This is
very
Yeah.
old news.
This is
It's old
ancient.
news.
I had not heard of this.
This is
Sorry.
basically the way that you get the really fast transfers over USB.
Right. Well, I hadn't heard of the USB attached SCSI protocol.
Yes.
I know all about SCSI. Used it for a long time,
Apparently
but I
not.
hadn't heard of it being used over USB. So
Wow,
yeah,
okay.
this is.
It's like
Are you
2008
trolling us, Brett?
was the first.
No, I'm not.
First
I
time
did
I-
not know all of the USB protocols from 2008. I
No, but
apologize.
UASP is old, man. Like
I didn't hear
when
of it.
when USB 3.0 stuff first came out, that's when you were starting to hit the really fast, almost satellite transfer speeds. But
Sorry, I missed the press
Came
announcement
about
on
the same
on-
time
on
as the
this one.
Sexport did.
That's
let me take you
because
back in time to
Apple.
2015.
Apple
because-
didn't talk about
Yeah,
it.
that's probably it. That's probably
go
because
back
Apple
in time to
didn't,
2015, where StarTech is talking about UASP.
yeah, I will have. I'll take a look at that. And
What is it? What is UASP?
Yeah,
Faster
what is
transfer
that?
speeds.
Yes.
He's just 6 years late,
Faster
people.
transfer
It's
speeds.
fine.
It's all right. I figured it out, and yeah, this is pretty good, and the prices are reasonable. And they named it after an ATI video card, the Rage Pro, which actually did come in an Apple,
Classic.
the G3 PowerBook.
Oh, brother. Okay, see, it always comes back to Apple.
You're
My
welcome.
first GPU, my
You're
first
welcome.
standalone GPU was a Rage 128.
See,
Let's see. The
anyway, this is some good storage. It looks like it.
hey,
I'd like to get one,
all
just
that
so I can try it
matters
out.
with flash drives is capacity and price. Nothing else matters. As long as it's
512
not
gig, man.
fake. Like you don't want to get a super cheap one on Amazon and have
know.
it be like a quarter of the capacity or something. But
Yeah, and which actually does happen. So this is a name
Yes, it
brand.
does.
Patriot is Patriot. Oh, did you get one? Did you get a sucky one?
not recently.
One that
I've bought.
lied?
I've
Oh.
found counterfeit stuff before.
Yeah. Patriot's a reasonable brand, so if you're looking for big storage, swing by and take a look.
All right.
That's
The ZDAC Spark RGB
It's an
device.
RGB device.
It also has, a
Yeah,
terabyte
you've got
of
some local storage as an extra benefit, but
I don't
it is
understand-
primarily an RGB device.
Yeah, it's a value. Is you're buying it for the ARGBs, and you're also, hey, look, there's some storage in here I can use too. Let's go
Yep.
to the link here at Tech Power Up. They reviewed it. Oh, look at the packaging. They're serious about this RGB, aren't they?
Oh my god.
It emanates from the
What gave it
sides.
away?
Let's see. The Phison
Yeah, it is actually a
E12
half decent SSD
controller,
but still,
half decent.
yes, literally half, not
Ugh.
fully half.
It's TLC and a Phison E12. Wow, this has been the podcast for non-riveting. We'll look.
There
at
are
the
no
performance.
rivets, no.
Oh.
Well, no, you
I'm
gotta
sorry,
look
what
at
was
the-
UASP again? Could we talk about
Lord.
that some more?
No, let's not talk about that. This is
Sorry,
not the
our
PC Per
ARGB does
podcast
not
in
support it.
2015. I'll have to link to whichever episode Alan explained that technology.
Okay, all right.
All right.
I'm never going to live this down.
The performance per
Or
dollar.
financially outrun
I don't
this.
know. It's
It's-
let's look at
it's
the
exactly
world's
what you'd
longest
expect.
charts. Tech Power Up. I love these guys, but they have the longest.
They have to
charts.
drop some things.
Let's see. Performance per dollar, right up there. Wait, that's
Well,
bad.
that's because 22 cents a gig is normal right now.
The ADATA Swordfish, 208%.
Because I've seen that for sale.
Percent of what again?
The percentage of plus minus 100.
Is higher better or worse?
I'm with Josh.
No, it says
I don't
higher is
Higher
better.
is better.
Wait, so
Higher
we're
is
looking
better.
at the top of the
Yes.
chart is actually the bottom of the chart. So the 970
Yes.
Pro 512 GB is the worst
get about an
performance per
inch per
dollar
dollar.
on this chart. And the
I don't know, I think
best,
we
But
should have
if you go
inverted
up,
this
you get
chart.
like 6 inches per dollar.
Swordfish.
The ADATA
What-
Swordfish.
What is?
is
I've never
best.
even seen the Swordfish from ADATA. But yeah. Price per gig, is up there. Well, they still have like 10 cents per gig. Can you really buy an AData Falcon for 10 cents a gigabyte right now? I don't doubt it.
Yeah.
And look at that. Swordfish. There's the Swordfish again for 10 cents a gig.
Are you Googling it?
I should. I was trying to get back to this screen
I
here.
think even Alan did a review of the Swordfish. That sort of tells you what.
It probably came out after he left. His last article for us was December of
that.
2018.
Can't be that new.
Let's see.
1
That
terabyte is
seems so
102.99.
strange.
Swordfish. Soar.
102.99
to new
off
heights.
Amazon.
Yeah.
A data
Soar to
Swordfish,
new
1
heights.
terabyte 3D NAND,
How much?
102.99.
Pretty good. And it's TLC?
Not fast.
It just says 3D NAND. It's 3D
It's-
NAND of some kind.
Oh my gosh, they sell a Falcon.
Cool.
So there's a Falcon and the Swordfish. Oh wait, that was
Dude,
the Falcon and the Snowman.
Max
That was a different movie.
sequential reads up to 1,800 megabytes per second.
But
know,
it's
the-
cheap.
Anyway,
Josh.
the Mushkin Pilot E's are 10 cents a gig. Usually you can find that 2 terabyte on sale for like $189. That's just, and it's 32, it's 35 and 32, 3.5.
Yeah, those more
3.2
normal
gigabytes.
TLC numbers.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I'm looking at
Pilot
one
E,
terabyte.
109.99.
There's one semi-ironic thing about this RGB device with optional local storage.
Mm.
did it
doesn't
rain on its wedding
actually-
day?
Well, that's just dampening, not really ironic,
Yeah,
unless
okay.
it's really, really heavy rain.
Human.
It doesn't actually ship with any RGB controller software.
So just
So
plays off
what?
the
It's got
motherboard
a little-
software?
It
It's got a
depends
little
on your motherboard.
USB 3-pin, 4-pin hanging off of it. Is that what you're saying?
No, it'll still talk to the motherboard apparently, but yeah, so it is fully and completely dependent on whatever RGB software your motherboard is running. But it does show up as a unique RGB device, which can be programmed individually, just like your memory and other devices. It's about the silliest damn thing I saw all week, and it's been a silly week.
I'm just looking at 1 terabyte NVMe devices on Newegg here. You can get a Team Group MP33 for
What's a
$95.
TimeTech?
I don't know. TimeTech 1 terabyte.
If it's as good as Time Cop, I want it.
Yeah.
There's that Mushkin Helix L for 99. Team Group T-Force Cardia Zero Z330 for 99. So there's plenty of like 10 cents per gigabyte 1 terabyte drives out there. That hasn't changed. What an exciting time to be alive.
Oh, it is.
I made
Can't
that
buy
comment.
a CPU, can't buy a GPU, but
Yeah.
damn, have we got storage for you.
I got a spam email from I think Best Buy saying, or it was Newegg. It was like top sellers, and it was the GPU category, and it was I think a 710 or a
1060,
730.
1050 Ti.
It was It was even lower than that. It was a 730. It had 2 gigabytes of DDR3 memory on board, and just that was what they had to sell. My local
It might
Best
have been
Buy
a top
has
seller.
a 710. That's it,
It might have been.
a GT 710.
Sadly enough, it might have been a top seller.
Okay.
Sad.
What's on the list?
Moving
There's
along.
one more news story, and then we can get to pick.
We
Oh,
talked
thank
about
you,
this
Lord.
last week.
Oh, I guess we have reviews. Did we? Yeah,
We
did.
did.
We did. This OVH
Yeah, the
story.
original incident is under there, and then
Yep.
come to find out they have significant issues in their other parts of their data center with like power supplies and
Oh,
batteries.
no. Okay. So making it
Fire
official.
will do that.
The Register reports OVH writes off another data center, SBG1, and reveals a new smoking battery incident. So that's an older
And
event, though.
also, SBG1 is a write-off now. It's dead.
Ooh.
So they're not.
They
they're not
originally
fixing it.
said, "Don't worry, it's coming back," and now they're like, "You know what? We don't even want to go in there anymore. We're just bricking
Yeah.
it up and pretending it never happened."
Uh-oh.
Yeah, look at the original incident link. There's like a video snippet of the fire truck spraying water into the flamed
Into
out
the data center.
Yeah, so look at the
No.
Look at the second link that I clicked. I had in
Okay.
there.
Okay.
Yeah, click the original incident link, and then scroll down and look for a short clip video. Yeah, that one.
Okay. I have to wait for the full page ad for Super Micro.
Oh, please.
Hold on,
Ooh.
Please
click
continue
through.
to.
I could wait 9 more seconds, but I'll just click.
You know what?
I'm
I actually did not-
I'm surrounded by ads.
Oh.
It's out of control.
Somebody knows what the pop-up's not for.
All right.
Oh, man.
Yeah, thanks Firefox for blocking up those pop-ups.
Yeah, but at least you're private.
Am I? I'm not in a private window. Okay, here we go.
At first, I did not realize that they had built their data centers out of shipping containers. Oh, yeah, there you go. There it is.
Yeah. That's your server right there on the
That's a
top.
quality-looking
That's-
data center
It's
there.
not
There's
on
your-
fire anymore.
There's your game server with a healthy dose of water.
Yeah, I could see that would be a write-off at that point.
I thought you'd find
They're just going to dump them in the Suez Canal.
That doesn't look like it's to code, but I'm guessing that's not the U.S.
Oh, it's France.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Brett, please take us through our
We
review
have one
this
more
week.
review to do here,
Please.
and that was for these guys.
He'll breeze
oh, yeah,
through
those,
it.
Those that's very
Don't
good.
blow it.
Oh, yep. You guys are
Brett.
really, really killing it right here. These are fan kits from Corsair in 140 and 120 millimeters. Obviously, they come in kits of 2 for the 140, kits of 3 for the 120, with an RGB controller. And as I said during the review here, that this is probably, if you're not swearing off of the RGBs, fans are probably one of the most eye-catching elements that you can add to your PC to make it pop, if this is the kind of thing you want to do. These are really, really good at static pressure, being quiet, and very colorful. And there are no issues at all with these, actually. They've got some interesting construction on the back side where Corsair's calling this their new air glide technology, where they're trying to shape the air as it comes directly through the fan instead of having those sort of regular kind of spider frames that support the central motor. They've actually turned them into blades in an attempt to shape the airflow. And I guess I'd have to kind of put some smoke through this in order to see how that actually worked, but put them up against a bunch of radiators and it seemed to work just
Gamers
fine.
Nexus would have used colored smoke, just so you know.
Yeah, they've talked about it before, and they swear off of the smoke now. They
Really?
did, and then
Okay.
Yeah.
We used to do that. Okay.
now I did build a chart out of these with an approximation of what I believed that their CFM was. Oh, there's a
this
picture
little test
from
setup
Kent.
here. Okay.
Yep. So I have a, CFM meter. I had a laser-based tachometer and a sound pressure meter there on them. They did loud variables versus the airflow, the decibels versus the RPM, and the RPM versus airflow in an approximation of like how I was measuring airflow. Don't consider it absolute because it's not in a perfect airflow measuring chamber, which would be consistent. They're only comparable between each other. So that's the best I could do to say this fan is, moves this much more in sort of a graph, so you're going on airflow. The fractals don't spend. The ones that come with the
Yeah. So yeah, but I mean the other thing is, so you're not
yes.
just
And you needed to buy it all individually. And I actually have one plugged in right here. So let me just turn it up to, that is essentially 100%. Making any sound?
yeah, I can hear it.
barely.
I can't hear shit.
Anyway, so tonight's on-air cooling brought to us by Corsair.
You know what? They
Thank you
look
very much.
nice, and
They are. It's
they
pretty
look
good.
better in person. They don't photograph particularly well.
Not particularly well. It's kind of hard
When
to.
they're
This is
lit.
done on, obviously
boy.
the 140,
The key is
and you can see how translucent the blades are.
No, that's fair. Yeah.
the key. This is the fascinating part. Take a picture of it using a DSLR, or just record something that will do RAW, and you import it into
Look
Lightroom.
out.
And you import it into
fingers.
Lightroom, use the camera standard preset. Get away from the Adobe presets because they oversaturate the color, and then use minus like 20 to 40% on highlights. You'll get
You really got to pull it in.
You'll get much better RGB photography that way.
You know, I could pull an Electro Boom. You know what I mean? You're watching Electro Boom? Ow. Ow.
Don't do that.
Keep going.
And it's dead.
It's dead. No, it's not.
Josh will lead us off as we seamlessly transition into picks of the week. Josh.
Apparently, the pick of
Yes.
the week this week is YouTube because it keeps dying on us.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah, I
No,
guess.
not great. So I didn't realize this, but I was complaining about RTX 3080s not being for sale, and you hadn't seen one actually up there in a long time, and suddenly Shuffle came out with two combos with an RTX 3080, and I made fun of them for being $1,200 and some odd change, and I thought, ha, how overpriced are these? And then a day later, I looked at eBay and saw that they're going for $2,400. So, if you got in on this deal with the Shuffle for RTX 3080s for upwards of $1,200, and then turned around and sold it on eBay, you doubled your money.
And I hope you're
That's
happy
just
if you did
wrong.
that.
I mean, maybe eventually Sebastian will send you. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, with the motherboard, 1444.98.
Wow.
It's a good
Power
motherboard.
supply, 1227, and yeah, selling for $2,000 to $2,400 right now on eBay. That just is, it's stupid. Graphics cards are stupid, dumb.
I blame Ken for the stream issues, and I blame Ken for the price of these GPUs too.
Yes,
Anything else
Ken.
I can think
Blame him
of.
for the broken fan, too.
I agree with Alex in the chat. Blame Ken. Apparently,
You know what?
YouTube has been crapping the bed with our stream all night.
I guess.
Even though
It
we have
has.
like an excellent connection, I have gigabit fiber. It's just not enough.
I think people are just going to have to go watch the edited stream later to kind of see what was going on here. I guess. Sorry, I'm just.
Okay,
Scrolling
next.
Enough.
Go.
Enough of the fans. Who's next? Jeremy.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch. It's a story that keeps on giving. But why wouldn't someone decide to completely and totally ruin USB-C for us? Like, why would someone not find a way to make sure that it was not reversible? Because that would be evil and amusing. And so, we have found out that if you are doing backwards compatibility by USB-C to a USB 2.0 device, even though USB-C has duplicated the data lines, they are actually somewhat discrete. Like, if you were a normal, nice person, you would have both of those traces lead to the same controller. If you're an evil genius like Pim de Groot, you would separate them and send them to two different controllers so that depending on which way you plugged in the USB-C, either one set of LEDs would fire up or the other would. I love this just for the sheer absolute evilness of it and taking away, finally our USB that plugs in the first time regardless. This is also an interesting troubleshooting step. If you run into a USB-C device which refuses to talk to your system, it could well be that some of your traces are borked, and that taking the non-polar, quite happy with either chirality USB-C and flipping it over and plugging it back in, it might start to work. Because we can't have nice things. It's just simply not allowed. So check out the project. It'll also teach you a bit about how USB signaling works and such. And it's just freaking hilarious.
Lovely. Finally tonight, Brett. I know this is a little out of character for you.
It is. And if you actually, believe it or not, if you scroll all the way to the bottom to the reviews on this
Yes.
particular card, if you
Are
can,
they good?
you can do that. Keep
Yeah, but
going.
Amazon
Go-
reviews.
I'll go to the reviews. Go to the Amazon review. Go to the Amazon review. Keep going. Keep going.
Good lord. Oh wow.
I know. Oh my
Okay.
gosh, is there a review there from B. Van Sprurenberg?
brother.
Don't buy this. Oh my God, look at that. I'm holding it here in my hand. This is crap. Do not buy
But it
this.
says it was QC. It passed QC. It says QC passed right on
Nope.
it. No,
This thing could suck start a Harley. Okay?
but it's only
Plugging this into
$43.99.
Tell me about it. I wanted a high quality 2.5G PCIe 1X card that was very low profile. When I say very, I mean very low profile. That's exactly what I wanted. Okay? Didn't work out. Plugging this into more than one motherboard will not even allow the computer to turn on. Power supply resets immediately with a voltage protection issue. Stay far away from this card.
So something is
And I'm-
wired incorrectly, or there's a bad.
I'm not
component
the
on
only
board.
person
Well,
who has experienced this problem with this card.
that's upside down.
Okay, maybe it's this card.
There you go.
That's why it didn't work. You plugged it in upside
Oh
down.
yeah,
You know, you're
Will
right
bring
about
that in
that,
a PCI slot because it's PCI Express.
All right, whatever. But the point is that I wasn't the only one to experience the problem of having the entire machine like not be able to turn on, or voltage protection kicking off. And it turns out that this one works much better.
Which is what?
This is I call it the cutie. Could be the cutty.
I'm thinking. I don't know.
That's
This
no
one's
Jim
much
Cuddy.
better.
That's a cutie.
We all know Cuddy
it
is
not.
KUDI, but
So this could be cutie. But this one
who
does not cause the machine to not turn on.
Yeah, but it's higher.
Anyway.
Higher profile and has a heat sink. I see.
It is. I mean, the other one had zero heatsink. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it looks
Absolutely
like
none.
it looks like a piece of crap. I
But it was
expect
from-
better from StarTech.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, I paid extra to be like, okay, this is going to be a quality device, and I needed it to be very low profile, and it's terrible. It will
Are
not
you going to
even allow the
return
computer
it?
to
You're
turn
going
on.
to take advantage of Amazon's
It's
sterling
well
return policy?
beyond the 30 days.
How? Did you wait this
It
long to
is.
test it? Oh well.
Because I'm an idiot, I guess.
Oh.
I don't know.
You paid
It's
$43
just because I was
for
because I needed to
garbage.
shut down a computer and take it apart, and it was
Yeah.
spring cleaning time, so
You know
I
what?
took it
Hey,
outside,
StarTech
blew the
will take
dust
care
out
of
of
you.
it.
Get a hold of
Nah, I don't
StarTech.
wanna take care of it.
They will.
Maybe I will.
It's within the first year. It's like, hey, this doesn't boot my system. It's terrible. And
wasn't the
they'll
only
be like,
one who
oh, hey,
mentioned
we
it
found a
either.
bad part on the board. We have like it'll be some sort of a
Yeah, but he's already blown
Case
the
by
part where he
case.
says, or else I'll talk about it bad on a podcast.
right. It's true.
I
The
did.
leverage is
and
gone.
Then my leverage is gone. I've already left a bad Amazon review. So what are you going to do from there? I bought another one. I just wanted to come on here and talk about it and say, please don't buy this.
You don't like?
No,
Find something
I
you don't
could.
like.
I
and
mean,
just pop it in there.
actually, that's a great idea. To like, hey man, install this. It's going to be great. You're gonna love this. So fast. It's so cool.
No, but then you don't.
And they're gonna
they'll
be trying-
contacting you.
That's
System
the
won't turn
problem
on
with giving
anymore.
people stuff.
And then try to explain
Isn't
to them
that
how to
always the
reset
problem?
CMOS and
Every time you give somebody anything, they're like calling you when it doesn't work.
even worse, if you
Anyway.
fix their system for them, then
Oh,
something else goes wrong. It's your fault.
Yeah,
You're the
'cause
last
you-
one to
'cause
mess
you
with
fixed
this.
it.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's like I reseated your RAM for you because your computer wasn't booting because you did it wrong.
Yep.
Well,
Yep.
now I'm getting this error. Like, okay. Anyway, that's our show this week.
Yeah.
It's over, Josh. Okay, you can exhale.
It's
Josh.
over.
It's over, man.
Tune in again next week for even more excitement. Until one of these days, one of these weeks, we're gonna take the week off. I swear, but not this
Probably
week.
will happen.
Probably not next week. So, tune in. I know maybe we'll have a better stream. I'll disable ultra low latency streaming and just go
That
to
was
low
probably
latency
it.
streaming. Maybe that's it. Maybe
Let's go for
YouTube can't
extra
handle
latency.
because it's forcing YouTube servers to encode the video that much faster. That's probably not a good thing for them. They need that 10 seconds or whatever. Okay. Until then, good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Stop
See ya.
recording. We're still streaming. Recording is stopped.
Yes, this is a real tech chip. Somebody's asking.
Oh,
This
yeah, of
other,
course.
this, this other different
they're
one.
all Realtek chips.
Where the crab?
Actually,
yeah.
I don't think this one was. Oh, nope, I was wrong. It is. It's got the crab on it.
probably-
Come on, it's all Realtek. Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
2.5G
it's got the
stuff
crab.
is all just Realtek.
It
It's
is.
just that this one's PCB isn't made out of graham crackers.
I don't know what the hell's wrong with this.
Yeah, I'll tell you. You know,
made me angry.
Realtek. You gotta give them props. They were absolute crap in the early 2000s, and now they're just
Oh, yeah.
kind of the industry
Everywhere.
standard, and their stuff just works. I have no complaints on Realtek equipment anymore.
Except for this one stupid card, Josh. Kicking my ass,
yeah, but
going
that's
like, "Oh no, we're just going to make it look like your machine's broke.
yeah.
Why'd you take it apart? Why did you do that?
That's
You took it
Realtek's
apart."
Brr.
StarTech. StarTech usually makes
I'm
good stuff
kidding.
too. That's
Usually.
Yeah.
It happens. Yeah.
Well, the Realtek LAN chip in this PC is currently transferring the podcast to the NAS at 109 megabytes per second
Ooh.
over my wired network.
It's my second
like
biggest
wired.
fan.
I thought you were gonna do
no.
I am your father.
It's a killer E2500
I can do
No less.
that.
on this gigabyte board.
Doesn't work. Try it the other way.
I think I need to spin it faster. Hang on.
No.
You need a bigger, slower fan.
I know. Bigger fan.
Razer 2048 says latency setting doesn't make a difference for this issue.
father.
Oh,
This is not working.
Meh.
other streams tried it today. Okay, so it's a YouTube issue. It sounds like not a good day for
Well,
live
sounds
streaming
like-
on YouTube.
It's
Boo.
today only. Bad.
Geographically
bad performance
diverse
today only.
people were complaining and referencing earlier issues.
Well, I don't know if it was last week or the week before. I uploaded the podcast and then it sat there for like 4 hours before it even started
yeah.
processing. It's just there have been some bad days for YouTube lately. Yeah, that killer is a Realtek, I think. The E2500. Because they went Intel towards the end and then Intel just bought them. So there is no more killer really. It's all AX200, AX201 stuff.
It was probably Yuri Frank screwing with things.
Yeah, for a while, Killer was using Broadcom chips. So yeah.
Yep. Put their
Fun
own
times.
baked-in, half-baked driver.
Yeah, it's a bad deal.
What? 10% of your CPU is too much? What are you talking about? Come on.
Have you guys put together any 10 gigabit networking? Because that's why I had these cards out, because I was
Yeah,
trying
work.
it out.
Sure.
It's,
Work won't even pay for it.
It's not as easy
Yeah, no,
as they
we've
say
got
on the
our
outside of the
storage
box.
back. Storage backbone's all 10G, and it works
Nice.
pretty well, but we pay for it. You get the higher end Intel cards, HP switches. Yeah.
I got to remember back in the day when fiber optic was just too expensive to even think about doing.
Now those
Now you got
GBEX,
this.
so whatever the hell they call
Oh, yeah.
them, they're so incredibly cheap, and fiber is nothing
Comparatively,
other than I mean, other than a pain in the ass to
well,
take
yeah.
through walls
Don't
and
look at it
ceilings.
funny.
But yeah, yeah,
But yeah, you compare that to 10 gig now, and yeah, that's where you're spending all your money on.
yeah.
Well, I just started setting it up on a bench in the other room, and some of it's not behaving the way that I would like it to behave. But mostly I think it's due to the switches. I'm not entirely sure. I don't have a really good handle on it yet, why some of the stuff seems oddly slow. And then I take the 1 gigabit line, plumb it in directly, and I'm getting speeds that seem higher than when I'm running it through a different switch at 2.5, 5, or 10 gigabit speeds. There seems to be some issues with frame size, jumbo frames, MTU. Just
Yep.
maybe there's some more intricacies to this than.
Networking is fun, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I'll figure it out eventually, but it's not like plug and play. That was my point with 10 gigabit seems to be a little bit more hands-on than how
Yeah.
easy 1 gigabit has been.
Well, 1 gigabit used to be hands-on, but
There you go.
it's old now.
You're right. Is it as old as
I'm
USB or
sorry, you
SCSI,
have
or
one
SCSI over USB?
single
Older.
over 45-degree turn in your entire network. So
Actually got fiber to go from my new switch to my first route, or my router to my switch. So I got a fiber interconnect for that. Just because. I only ordered one and the Chinese vendor sent me 5. Did I get a deal?
well, if you
Not
could build
that long,
one working
only like a
card over
meter.
5.
Well, they're just meter lines of dual, the fiber TX.
Oh, okay. That's not bad.
Fiber bonded, plastic with the
Just
plastic
dumping it on
inserts
you.
in them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I ordered one and I ended up getting a package of 5.
All right. Any other questions or anything from the chat we need to address?
I don't know, man. I think 2.5G is probably where it's at.
Yeah, if you could find
Switch.
every router
Yes.
should just have a 4-port 2.5 on the back.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm-
ultimately,
Okay.
I'm starting to think about the speed of the drives and like the transport through the entire system may not be much faster. Is the interesting point here? Is like,
What, for
You know,
spinning
you
drives?
could- yes. So if you have a NAS, it probably has spinning drives in it because of the capacity. So the reason why you want a fast network environment is probably to access a remote NAS type environment, right?
But you
And
want,
that's-
but 2.5 would actually remove the bottleneck. You wouldn't need 10. Is that your point?
That is my
'Cause
point. That is my
Gigabit
exact
is
point.
holding me back because my drives will write at
Yes.
200
Yes.
megabytes.
250-ish.
Yeah,
Ish. Could
And
be in
I'm
there.
Stuck at 100.
I mean, if you got 4 of them in a NAS, then yeah, you're hitting
Yeah,
that
you're-
kind of speeds.
Yep.
Plus, you can do like
2.5.
SSD caching in certain NAS units, and
Yep.
so if you have one
Yeah,
of those, you can throw a
if-
couple NVMe drives in there.
That's
Yeah,
right.
the 2.5 is a nice middle choice in between gigabit
Yes.
and
10.
10.
Yeah.
And I wish that there were more options for it, but there's just not in terms of switches. It sucks.
Or the NAS.
It's
How
almost
many
like the
NAS
vendors
units
that
out there
prefer
have
to-
2.5?
yeah. I mean,
now
yeah,
it's
you,
all
you
gigabit.
can get motherboards and
But,
cheap Ethernet cards that'll do it, but
Yep.
yeah, everything else sucks.
But a lot of the NASAs have, well, the larger ones will have a port or left in them for a place to slot in a manufacturer
10
equivalent 2.5 card or a 10 card. But
Yeah,
my
usually
point
there's
is that
10 cards that can go
Yeah.
down to 2.5. Yeah.
oh sure, oh absolutely, yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
But the point is that spinning NAS system is well suited to 2.5. So a lot of those new motherboards that are coming with 2.5, don't dismiss those outright. That's probably a really good speed for what it is you're going to do. You're not getting 2.5 out to your network and the internet. You're just not. I mean, gigabit doesn't even have very big penetration out there. And even inside, if your NAS has got spinning drives, 2.5 is going to be pretty good to it.
And 2.5 doesn't require sophisticated, like modern technology to work. It pretty much works
Ye-
over existing
It does.
cabling
It does.
and
5E cabling it was probably sufficient in shorter runs, 50
I didn't-
ish.
I didn't realize that QNAP actually had a 2.5 5-port for
Yeah.
only $110.
I'm curious about that QSW 1200.
Here, let me go.
1105.
Hang on a sec. Let me grab the one that I just got. Hang on.
Hang on, I'm hanging on. Yeah, that's one of the first relatively inexpensive. I mean, back in the day when they finally released 100 megabit stuff, the first inexpensive 5 to 8 port 100 megabit was, $160, $200. So this is not bad. Okay,
That's
ready
a
for you.
beefy router.
Oh, is that
This is a QNAP. It's as you can see, it's the M4082C, and the reason it's the 2C is it has two. I'm trying to reverse point here. Sorry, it has two built-in, essentially standard 5e6 cable fittings without or connectors without using transceivers, which is what this guy here is poking out over here is a transceiver. I'm just
I always
trying
call
some
those
things out on the
GBICs,
bench.
but anyway.
Yeah, same thing. GBICs. I come from
Yeah, but
much
they're not
older.
they're not called those anymore. So
No, you're right.
Yeah.
But they used to be back in when I
Yeah.
was running these sort of lines to the walls so long ago. But yeah, these SFP ports with regular, 5e or Cat 6 or 7 or even 8 nowadays, cabling on them and with a 100 or a 1 gigabit switch built in. I'm finding that the way that this is configured out of the box is not as fast as I would hope. Just doing some testing straight through and looking if I'm on the same switch on the same side or on the same switching side over here, doing some speed testing.
yeah, those look like kludges.
I'm trying to figure out like how is this supposed to work and what's the best way to configure that for the top speed. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really impressed so far.
Gotta go MikroTik, man.
I have one of those too. It's in the other room. And that seems to have the same issue.
Oh, really? Is that just
How
using
about
SFP stuff, or-
Meraki?
With the K,
Meraki, yeah.
Meriki. How does that one spell? I think I've
no,
seen that
no,
one.
it's a Cisco based, but it's all 10. It's all gigabit plus 2 SFP ports. So yeah, that sucks. Never
Well, this
mind.
held a lot of promise
Don't go Meraki.
as a device because I wanted to replace the one that I have here in the office with some specific 10G ports to some of the machines on the desk, and then run 10G back down to the NAS in the basement, and then have one line, to the internet. And this seemed to fit the bill. It had checked all the boxes, and
Except the performance sucks.
I don't
Yeah.
really know yet. So far, plugging everything in without really much configuration, I'm not really happy with it yet. I mean, if I just take the 1 gigabit line, plug it in the 2.5G, I have some 10 gigabit cards as well. Some not Etheros. I have to go look that up to see who they are. The 1 gigabit line straight in is actually quicker than running through the switch, but I'm wondering if that's one extra hop through this device here I have in the office right now. I don't know. 50% latency seems too high for one extra hop.
But don't you have additional latency penalty by using those adapters?
I don't think so
Adapting-
because, I mean, I've got SFP ports here that I can run straight in without the GBIC.
What?
So,
I mean, you have just standard
yeah, these,
RJ45
Yeah, right here.
connectors in for
Yes.
whatever, like Cat 7 and
yeah. This is a SFP combo
okay.
RJ45 port, same time.
Because I mean, it's early days, and that's a more budget model. So it's just it can
It
claim it
is.
on the box, but it probably doesn't actually produce the results outside of like a 3-foot run with ideal
It's
conditions.
surprising because for budget, it was actually not that cheap. I think this was, I don't know, maybe like $300.
That's
So, something
that's
like
cheap for 10 gig. Oh.
It is.
Yeah,
It's
it's kludgy, but it's cheap.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think
It has the
ours
benefit of
was
also sucking.
We had a 10-port 10G, and it was $1,500.
Oh yeah,
But that's
you can spend a
enterprise.
lot. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Maybe I'm expecting
So-
too much.
Yeah, but no, that QNAP 5-port 2.5 for $110. It's on back
That's
order,
not bad
of
at
course.
all.
That's interesting. That's hitting a price point that if you actually utilize that kind of storage across your home network, that's interesting. I mean, I used to utilize higher amounts of shared storage than I do now, just because, you know, when you're dealing with a 10 megabit max or a 1 megabit connection, you stored everything on your network because it was just too slow to download everything again. But now everybody's got, you got 100 megabit connection, and you don't even think about that anymore. I mean, it's like you download a game in 20 minutes. Who cares? It's not like, the old days when you'd do Steam caches, and
Yeah.
I mean, it made more sense to store it locally because you'd be hours and hours and hours and hours and hours, and now it's not that. And so, yeah, storage is. I'm not nearly as worked up about my home network as I used to be, just because of usage scenarios.
Yeah, be realistic in what it is you're going to be doing. Don't get crazy.
Oh, get crazy. I mean, if you got the money, go crazy. Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, I suppose you can.
Yeah. All right.
I think it's
I got to
time.
run away
It's time.
because my bladder's about to burst.
Hey, we made it to
Right
midnight
on.
on the East Coast. Kind of par for the course, so we're going to cut it off.
Yep.
Thanks for watching. Tune in again next week and all that. Taking the stream
see ya.
down.
Thanks, guys.